All right, everybody. This is Half-Life 2 betas. It's a variety of Half-Life 2 betas from over the years. This is something that kind of like, early builds of the game and just being an archaeologist, archivist for stuff that never made it into the final cut or was improved in the final cut. Apparently, according to Neri, a lot of this stuff was just acquired over the years randomly. And this mega build that I have here is by hl2-beta.ru. They put together this like massive thing where you can play any of the ones you want. Like, for example, from E3 2002, there's fan-made fixes. There's all kinds of like builds from 2001 to 2003. So we're going to do the 2001 version. And it's early to mid 2001. Game was still taking place in North America. Thank you, Neri, for these notes. Lots of test and cut content. Just so you know, by the way, a lot of this was fixed to be playable because originally this was totally unplayable or barely playable. So they fixed it up. I guess we can just play new game and then press map. So I have a bunch of maps. So this is what Half-Life 2 looked early. We'll try to do as much of this stuff as possible. Hang on a minute. Maps list. So I have a list of maps. I don't plan on doing all of it, but I'm going to do, again, a bunch of it. Boy, this looks like Half-Life 1. This is the source engine. This kind of looks like the assault map from Counter-Strike. Welcome to City 17. It's shitty here. And again, this is an improved version, so I like how they just have regular old MP5s. It's source, but they were still using World Gen. Now, I did play some Half-Life 2 beta stuff a while back, but not this extensively. Vinny, why did you not say shitty 17? Well, it didn't occur to me, but goddammit, now I wish I had. I kind of wish there was like a way to I kind of wish there was a way to see the most notable maps, like the most interesting ones. So there's just like almost no audio here. Oh my god. This is like the outside area of City 17. Apparently, Half-Life 2 was originally going to be set in a world where everything was radiated, which is why they're wearing gas masks. That's original Breen. It's more like Neil Breen, right? It's great to be part of the greater good. Well, from this early build, even though everything's chunky, you can still see the beginnings of what this would eventually become. Also, the jackets on the Combine really invoke a certain vibe. That is definitely something that I feel would have been fine if they didn't cut it. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that. These fucking cameras are massive. But yeah, the oppressive feel of Half-Life 2 is still here. Whoa. Hey, I want to get run over by a train. Strong 1984 influence, yes. Very Soviet. By the way, if I were to do all of the content that's available, it would take me probably, I'd say, 10 to 12 hours or more. That's, that, you know, if I really spent the time working on all of this. And, like, really checking it out. I definitely would be here forever because this is, extensive. So the cool thing is there's a text file that has the names of the maps and the dates that they were compiled. So this is one of the earliest ones. There's earlier, but this is one of the earliest maps. Well, I guess it's too loud now. So there's a division of maps in this list here between maps that were in Half-Life 2 or would go on to become like kind of the prototypes for what Half-Life 2 maps would look like. And then there's non-story maps, which I want to see some of those. Early manhacks. This looks like, to me, like a pretty decent sequel to Half-Life 1, but not the next, like, evolutionary step. If they had shipped it and it looked more like this, I would have been, you know, like, oh yeah, that's Half-Life. Oh shit, these lads. These were enemies at one point? What the fuck? This looks like something from, like, a horror mod. The original version of this map was covered in missing textures. So, once again, the people that compiled all this, for some of the maps that had zero, like, textures in certain areas, they went and redid the maps a little bit, just so it would look like a video game and not just a missing mess. My limited knowledge and what Nari's telling me led me to say that to you just now. What date did this get compiled? This was April 9, 2001. Right? Now, this one's February 14th, 2001. So this is even earlier. This is the earliest date I see here. So this might, in fact, be one of the very first Half-Life 2 concepts compiled. I don't know. Based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like it. No, I got a January. There's one from January. That's Alex. Oh boy. No, not even really modeled very much at all. Just a little bit, not fully, at least. I want to know what the fuck this thing is. Why was this cut? I love this. This is like that meat technology, so it looks like even early on, the Combine's like half meat, half technology, half like metal kind of technology. Were available. What's this? So these were in the Citadel. I didn't even know that these were in the Citadel. I might have, you know what? They might be like, yeah, okay. Alright, fair enough. You see them for like 5 seconds. I was gonna say, in the Citadel, there's a number of things that you can look at. It's like the tram ride in Half-Life 1, but into the Citadel, so you see a bunch of weird shit. So yeah. Also, APCs. Well, it's nice that they didn't have to scrap the model completely, even for 5 seconds. Can't run, by the way. This is my, like, top movement speed. I wonder how much the Matrix influenced some of this stuff. Alright, let's take a look at this January map. I have one from January 26th and one from January 5th. So this is a January 5th map. This is I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna probably eat my words, but this is now the earliest map that I've seen on this list. This is probably much more interesting to you if you've played Half-Life 2 before, which I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't, I have a full playthrough of it, just if I could plug my own channel for a second. The name of the channel is Vinesauce, and there's... you could just go to the Half-Life video on the Vinesauce, the full sauce. That's right, you could just go to the Vinesauce, the full sauce on the YouTube, and you will find that. Look at these prototype weapons. This is the Borealis. It's kind of weird that one of the first maps they did was the Borealis. And yet, you know, you go through the game and there is no Borealis. And it became this thing of legend. Oh my god, look at the fucking recoil on this thing. Oh, these are some scummy models. Slam? Oh. Molotovs? Binoculars? Oh, that's kind of a cool effect, though. It's very Blade Runner. No, do not kill. I'm busy. Shit. So I guess this would have been one of the super weapons, except it kind of sucks. It looks cool, at least. Oh my god. Stop. Stop burning. Stop it! Oh, that's really annoying. More, like, meat weaponry. This kind of reminds me of the opposing force weapon. It's the Gauss gun. An updated version, which was then put back in the version I played. So that's cool. So yeah, one of the first maps is a map for what was supposed to be episode 3 that never really happened. Speaking of, I can't believe how many iterations this game went through. Most developers would just take what they had and be like, yo, that's the game. We just have to make it work. Like, for example, here's Camo City. Oh, that's cute. Vinny, that's not true at all. After it leaked in 2003, they pretty much redid the entire game. They do constant revisions, like every developer, because, I mean, have you seen me play Monkey Ball Banana Blitz? It seems like they just went with the first ideas they had. Alright, fair enough. Good to know. If it is good, then it was iterated upon many times. Well, I'm glad to be corrected. Thank you, chat. That said, the amount of maps that I have here that are completely unrelated to the storyline are more than the ones that are related to the storyline. For example, here's one from February. Vinny, stop trimming your beard. Well, when else am I going to be able to do it, if not during Sunday stream? Oh, I love throwing these stalkers in there. Speaking of early builds, I wish I could see the Chrono Trigger early builds. I think Beta64, who's in chat, hey Beta64, and a variety of other people have like some footage of it and some screenshots, and there's like weird flying machines in 1000 AD. So there's some stuff that exists, like you can see what it looks like, but you don't really... Like, I would love to play one of those builds. So it's kind of amazing that you get a chance to actually, like, go through this stuff in Half-Life 2. And there's so much of it, too. Remember, this is only one version. Wait, what the hell? I thought this was Camo City. Well, it was Camo City. Yeah, now it's like Sniper Death Town. So here's a map. I want to know what this is all about. 20%, 20%, 20%. Alex. Don't really know who that Alex is. This is a completely different Alex. This is like 20% of what Alex ends up looking like. That's my guess. Map. Chopper! An indoor helicopter. This kind of looks like my first Half-Life 1 map. Map. Burn targets. This is like a Sven co-op map I used to play where you would like harass scientists by pressing buttons. And they would just burn. Well, we'll all take turns. I'll get mine too. Oh no! That January map is still the earliest one I've found. Left ear is... oh man, it sounds so great. Let's see some of the more advanced maps. Oh, thank God for that. Okay, so this one was like September 2001. Oh God, what are you doing? No! It's like really not at all what Half-Life 2 ended up looking like. It looks cool. I mean, this would be a good Half-Life 1 map. It looks like they just upgraded the gold source engine, and you can see far. Someone said it looks like GoldenEye, yeah. It looks like the area you get the crossbow, a little bit. Vinny, are you playing Hunt Down the Freeman? Well, similar quality. Source was originally just gold source with physics. Oh, interesting. Alright, well I'd need to no-clip through that. Let me, check out... Here's one that does not have a date at all. Like, this is a mystery. It says here, restored parts of the older map, the date is unknown. This, I think I can pinpoint this. This seems like an early version of the house that you... like when you're driving around, and then you have to like go through the roof of a building. And then there's also another building where there's a helicopter fight. Alright. Try to find... Here's another early City 17 from January. Just gonna, like, at random, whatever sounds interesting, I'll check out. And then I want to do more than just 2001 Half-Life 2. I want to see what it looks like year after year. Even if I miss some stuff, I'd like to show you the progression from 2001 to 2003. Yeah, all the E3 demos are here, too, so I could always show you those. This might be a part 2. This might be like a 2 or 3-parter, if it's interesting. I don't know if it is. Maybe not right this second, but... I'm fascinated by this. I know a lot of people are. I know there's a lot of people that love Half-Life 2 and beta content as much as I do, but this probably will have no impact on a good portion of my audience, and for that, well, I mean, life sucks. But otherwise, I hope that maybe we can find some interesting stuff to look at. Map synth. The E3 Ravenholm demo is good. Yeah, I'm going to check that out too. So again, pretty empty, aside from a couple maps that have some fights. There was that one map that had all the weapons, weirdly enough. I'm wondering if they were all... Yeah, pretty much. Wow, there's a lot more weapons in this game originally. So here's the OG physics gun. Wait a minute. So there's a physics gun and a gravity gun. Here's the baton, which was put back in M-Mod. Here's an ice axe. You know, to help you get to the Borealis. Yeah, the physics gun was eventually used in Gary's mod. Here's the pistol, which I think got a little bit of a makeover. I don't know, I kind of would have liked a gun like this in Half-Life 2. I felt like Half-Life 2 had a lot of good weapons. It definitely had an arsenal that you could... Every weapon had a use. Like, even the pistol kind of was useful later on. But a little more variety wouldn't have hurt. So this has a couple different firing modes. Right. Got the shotgun, of course. What the hell's the name of this? The machine gun? With non-working scope. Brick bat? I guess you just throw bricks. This is the AR with horrendous aiming. Here's the thing that would go on to become the AR-2, but it's incendiary for now. Sniper rifle, of course, which became the crossbow. Combine guard gun. Yeah, this arsenal definitely kind of reminds me more of Opposing Force than it does Half-Life 2. That was pretty much a BFG. Alright, let's take a look at Zombie Town. So, map Zombie Town. Maybe that's why they removed the weapons. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to remove the weapons. I always wanted a little bit more variety just because I loved Opposing Force, and there were so many weapons in Opposing Force that were really cool. But the final arsenal of Half-Life 2, like I said, all of it was useful, and it all made sense. Springfield. Mart! Strange map. Very, very strange map. Ooh, I found the earliest one that I can find. I got a map here from 2000. December 2000. This looks a little bit more in line with what City 17 ended up feeling like. Not entirely, but this just looks like, there's a mod I used to play for Half-Life 1 called Vampire Slayer. Double Alex. Kinda looks like a map for that. That was a cool mod. Okay, and finally, let's take a look at... Well, maybe not finally, but... I'm winding down on this build of Half-Life 2. And this is the earliest map. No, it's not. I found an even earlier one. God damn it, I gotta stop saying that. Alright, so... This looks like the cave from episode 2. City Test 9 is the oldest map. Let's see, City Test 9. Oldest. It is old. Well, I mean, it is oldest. December 18, 2000. Oh god, they still have the Half-Life 1 sounds. Big chunky barrels. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's see. One more. I want one that is really, really late 2001. Maybe something from, like, November 2001. Anything that's really, really far along. Try this one. I did this one. Wow. Good thing they load quick. Here's an early version of the Citadel from August 22nd, 2001. Okay, well, that's kind of neat. It's kind of cool. Really kind of ugly with the, you know, when it looks like it's in Half-Life 1 Gold Source, but it could have been cool if they kept at it. Looks like one of those modern buildings that they're doing in New York City. Like, there's a lot of buildings in New York City that look really nice and classical, and then you have some new ones that are just bizarre and they twist, and they're just designed to catch your eye. But, yeah, kind of looks like that. Also, Alex is still the constant. No movement, nothing. Alright, well that was Half-Life 2 2001. Here's Half-Life 2 2001 to 2002. What does that mean? Different maps and a different engine, I think? Let's take a look. So there's a whole new set of maps here.
Go ahead, Dr. Freeman. See if you can hit that crate with the supplied ammunition. Oh, fine. This is quite unexpected. Wait right where you are, Dr. Freeman. Don't move until I'm sure.
It's an early training map. Ah, Dr. Freeman. You can kind of still see the quake. A little bit. Oh, we'll get there eventually. Is that Matrix code? the fuck?
Cleverly done, Mr. Freeman, but you're not supposed to be here. As a matter of fact, you'll not. Get back where you belong and forget about all this. Until we meet again.
What the fuck? That was amazing. I think he said until we meet again. Until we yeet again? That's the kind of shit that I want to find. Stuff like that. I don't know. He said until we meet again. Let's see. Well, maybe here's what we could do, maybe, chat. If I miss anything, if you guys want to, like, scour through this and compile the most interesting maps for part 2, I know that's, like, a lot to ask, but, I mean, there's a lot of you. If anyone's, like, really, really into this and you know there's something I would definitely love and would be good to show the stream, because there's, like, we're talking, like, hundreds and hundreds of maps, but if anyone knows any good ones for next time, for part 2, just let me know. You don't have to, but if you want to, or if you already have, that's something that would be cool. Let's take a look at C-17 Road 1. Okay, so this build is still crust. This is very, very similar to the previous build. This is, again, like Vampire Slayer. I remember there was a map with just big buildings like this, and you would just be a vampire, and you'd jump through them, and like, a priest with a shotgun would try to kill you before they killed them. I think they were just trying to test the limits of, like, how far you could look. I don't know. Let's take a look at City 17 0117. No clip does move faster, yes. Yeah, it's this one again. Those armbands. Remind you of anything? This looks like the one from earlier, but with less stuff. Okay, I don't think I'm going to spend too many time. You know, we don't have a lot of time, and why would you give too many time for one thing? You just don't. So I'm going to do some of these maps, like for example, Map Domino. This is a joke map. There's a whole section here called joke maps, including Pachinko. We laugh and we say Konami, but Valve could just as easily get a Half-Life Pachinko machine out there and no one would bat an eye. So this one is spelled physics with an F. Okay, we got a trebuchet, we got a catapult. Here we go. Catapult. Let's go. Yeet! Oh! That was a bad yeet. This may not look like much now, but the physics were a goddamn amazing for 2001. Map machine. Yeah, I'm most interested in these maps. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine, kind of. Or, no, it's just more of an industrial machine. With a bit of Rube. Wow. I can just imagine seeing something like this for the first time. Being one of the developers. That's awesome. Okay, pachinko. Because now they have this amazing physics system. So what's the first thing you make? Well, not pachinko, but what's the third or fourth or fifth thing you make? Pachinko. Let's spin the Plinketto wheel. And which bad movie are we getting today? Pins. Now, there is that E3 demo that showed off a lot of the physics that was kind of fucking amazing. And that was the first thing I've seen. Like, I remember that was like the first demonstration of Half-Life 2, along with the stained glass windows that I remember. I remember seeing those, and I remember the Ravenholm demo. I don't know which one came first. But they're both here, so yeah, we can check out both of those. I like that this is a thing that you can do in the engine, and nothing like this is ever really fully used in Half-Life 2, like just aspects of the spin. They basically invented Beyblades in video games. Cool. There's probably something else. Like, here's a map called... What is 50 Antlions? 50 Antlions. It's 50 Antlions. It's not quite 1 million revenants, but I'll take it. I thought it was going to be a G-Man, and we got 50 Antlions instead. Who would have known? Here's a bus. It's map bus. Here's the bus. Bus. Map item zoo. Come on now, twist. Head crab. Oh no, that's a surprise. Bottle. This counts as brick bat or whatever. I guess one of the ideas was that you could just throw a bunch of, like, trash. It's broken. It gets stuck. I couldn't throw it in time. I gave birth to you! Well, the pistol's looking pretty Pretty good. It looks pretty much like what it's supposed to look like. It looks like the pistol from Half-Life 2. They settled on that look pretty quickly. More or less stuck with it. Yeah, I think they just kind of... Someone in chat said they made it a little darker. Sure. Alright. Kick Me 2. Map Kick Me 2. Someone said, where's Beta 64 when we need him? Like, actually here. He's here. He should be doing this, not me. He left. He's not here, chat. Never mind. He's here. There he is. Beta 64, have you ever done a Half-Life 2 series? Map Zoo Dust. So in chat he just said, I haven't, but the sheer amount of stuff is daunting. Yep. I consider me fully daunted. No, daunted is good and best in game. They did this just because they could. Show-offs. I've never seen this. I mean, I've never seen a lot of this, but some of these textures... pretty cool. This is not the stained glass thing I was talking about, but I know that's here somewhere. Okay, great. Particle Zoo. Map Particle Zoo. That's the E3 tech demo. Well, I will show you that, don't worry. Cool. Bump. Map. Bump. Light style. Now remember, a lot of this is from 2002, so the game is definitely improved. The engine has improved. Align Me. Now that's interesting. That could be an album. Wow. Look at that. That bump mapping. No, this is really cool for 2002. Let's check out a couple other maps that are unrelated to the story, and then I'll move along to the 2002 build, which we're not even really fully there. So, oh, these are grubs from Episode 2. So this was an original thing for Half-Life 2 that was used later? Huh. Well, the grub emote is coming in handy. Chat is telling me to stop squishing them. You stop squishing them, chat. 2002 and 2003 map packs aren't ready yet. It's only 2001 and 2001 to 2002. LeakNet and E3. What's LeakNet, Nary? The one that says LeakNet. No, what is it? I know I know where to find it. I'm just wondering, what is it? It's the fixed up version of the 2003 hack. Oh, well, that's a whole thing. So, for those that don't know, Half-Life 2, this was a really big fucking deal. But it was leaked. Got hacked. And it got leaked, and people were playing it, and it was not a great version. Or it was good, but it wasn't, from what I understand, it like they went back and redid a lot of it. It was just really unfinished. And people were like, this game sucks, bro. Bro. Also, this is starting to look like Half-Life 2. This is the first time, maybe not the first, but we're starting to get into, like, Half-Life 2 looking maps, including barrels that don't look like chunky hexagons. This is the old version of Kleiner's lab. Oh yeah, okay, I can see that. Lamar would be up here. It's like the beginnings of Kleiner's map. Still very empty, but pretty cool. Also a way bigger lab. Poor dude got, like, you know, paying double the rent, half the size. He moved to New York City. Okay, let's find one that is a little further along. Barrel roll. Not a meme. Well, that too, but not in this case. Well, yeah. I mean, it's the beginnings of this area, the canal. The water is rainbow. It's oily, chat, that's all it is. It's just oily water. Someone in chat just said it's Diddy Kong Racing. Alright, so that's that build. Now, Nari, when you say that the maps are missing, it's just unplayable? Like, I could load into it, but I can't actually get to the maps. Is what... I'm trying to figure out what that means exactly, but let's see. So here's the readme. No. Might have to change levels manually. Well, I've been doing that anyway, but... it'll only load the LeakNet maps. Got it. Okay. Alright, so what do we do next? Let's do E3 2002. Let's stick with the chronological order, even if we're missing some stuff. So this is E3 2002. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first, like, public appearance of the game. Okay, yeah, the Citadel looks kind of cool there. It seems like they started figuring out what they were looking to do. E3 2002 was canceled. The one you're thinking of is E3 2003. It was never shown, however, it was used to make the first trailer. Gotcha. So when was the first trailer for Half-Life 2 displayed? E3 2003. Okay. Yeah, so it looks okay. I mean, it's still kind of a little bit early, but for how early this is, it's starting to look very much like Half-Life 2. The trees are... yeah, the skybox is nice. The trees are a little, obvious, which is why I think it's good that in Ravenholm, in the final version, they de-emphasize that a little bit, and so instead the trees are kind of more up on ridges and stuff. Vinny, this is E3, slow down that camera. Okay. Get some anisotropic filtering. Let's see, is there a mouse smoothing option? Because I can get some serious E3 camera. No. Yes, I just saw it. Hang on. As you can see, the world we've built will react to your mood. This is a world where if you planted a tree 20 years ago, you will live to see the tree grow. Hello everybody, it is me, Peter Molyneux. We have created a game where you can be the god of the world. Where you can have a child in the game come back 20 years in real life, and the child will have grown into a new NPC. You can literally do anything. Here's a child I incubated within my own womb. And then the game comes out, it's just Tetris. This is definitely good. This would have been a pretty good demo. Now, chat, when you say E3 2003, not A3, but E3 2002, rather, was cancelled, you mean Valve showing this was cancelled, not the entire E3, right? All of it. The demo was cancelled. Okay. Because I was trying to think back to 2002, and I can't, because those gaps in my memory are very real. But I think I would have remembered if an entire E3 got, like, shit-canned. Nice physics. I wonder how many of these textures ended up being in the final game. Or if some of these are replacements. Because I recognize a lot of these textures, I just don't know. Oh, by the way, I'm stuck in here now. Oh, good. Well, it's a good thing they didn't show that off. People would have been stuck in there for hours. pretty decent build. Pistol is very similar to what it would end up being. Shotgun feels about the same. Still lacking a little bit of polish. Little stamina. A lot of these textures were missing things such as bump maps. They were pulled from the final game. Cleverly designed brick physics. I guess that was it. Now, if that was the first showing of Half-Life 2 in 2002, that would have been pretty cool. It wasn't too bad. Does it play like an evolution of the Half-Life series? Not quite, even though some of the physics are still in place and look kind of cool. Apparently there's more maps. I'm looking here, I don't see... There are more maps. Okay, I'm gonna go back into it then. Swap to the E3 2003 for more complete version. Okay, hang on a minute. Before I do that, let me do one more map for the 2002 version, because I'm more interested in... So, like, there's Strider, map E3 Strider. Okay, so now City 17. It's like the end of the game, where City 17 is in rubble. And you have to destroy a bunch of Striders. This is still not great, but much closer. And the Striders were one of the coolest fucking things ever when they were revealed. I always really enjoyed their long legs. So let's just take a look around. Yeah, they're in a pretty decent state. Amazing how much work got done on this in a year. To go from, like, blocky Half-Life 1 maps to something a lot more interesting. I don't think I'm supposed to be over here, really. But, yeah, and then implementing the Striders, too. The Citadel. Whoa, I didn't even fucking really spend time looking at that. The Citadel looks kind of cool. Let's go into the skybox. It looks like a cleaner version of something you'd see in Midgar. But it's like really shiny. I like the final version better, but this is pretty fucking cool. It looks like a vape. Yeah, it kind of does. It actually, I was gonna say, it looks like a flamethrower. It looks like a vape. It also kind of looks like something like the Burj Dubai. It doesn't look as alien as the first one. Or as the final one, right. It does, that's, yeah, I like it better in the final version, but that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's the 2002 build. Let's jump into the 2003 build, just to speed the time frame along a little bit. Really wondering what kind of a difference was made here. Well, that immediately, when I see a rotating 3D logo, I think polish. I think quality. It's got some nice shading, too. Hello, and welcome to Half-Life 2 E3 build.
Wow. You've been rather busy in your absence, Mr. Freeman.
Face. Yeah, I remember this. This was, next level for the people.
Mr. Freeman, I'm only going to say this once.
Can't hear you, speak up.
那么，看来我们是没有合作的机会了。
What? That was in like a corruption video of mine, I think. I remember that line. They were showing off localization support? Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely now the first time I remember seeing Half-Life 2. It was a demo of this. Oh my god. What I was gonna say before was, in 2003, this was fucking mind-blowing. This was the next step in video games. Like, you know, if you were born a little later, or if you just grew up in a time where, you know, games were kind of more in the HD game generation, it can't be overstated how important this game was for all that. This was like a next step. And me being a huge Half-Life 1 fan, I remember seeing this in particular too. I remember they were talking about all this stuff and I was like fucking blown away by it. Just showing off the physics. I was like, wait, wood? Wood that sounds like wood? But, I mean, yeah, we did a pretty big time jump from the E3 2002 demo to this. Way better demo. Just designed to show off all the tech before it gets you into any kind of real combat. Hell, these mattresses are still impressive. Showing off, like, the body parts and stuff. This was not meant to be played, it was only for demonstration purposes. Well, they did have it playable at 2003, right? What, Ravenholm was playable, or no? No? Oh, okay. I think that was just a dev playing it. So this is one of those things that just sticks out in my mind. When they did the material showcase, I was floored by the graphics. I couldn't believe. Especially this one right here. Note they spin when you get close to them. It's such a good tech demo of what this game could do. Oh yeah, and the stained glass still looks great. Nothing was playable, everything was so scripted, if anyone went off the beaten path, the game would break. The actual game was in really bad shape back then. Well, that'll lead us into the 2003 leak when we get there, but... See, I didn't know that in particular. I knew it was in rough shape, but I didn't know that, like, it was held together on, like, pins and needles. Or rather, what's the expression, Chad? It's not pins and needles. Paper clips and band-aids? Duct tape? Sure. Japes and vapes. He's like, why would you do that, Mr. Freeman? Hey, for something being held together with duct tape, pretty much, this is still pretty good if you go off script. This camera would eventually be extensively used in Gary's mod. So you have to say to yourself, where the fuck is Gary's mod? This is fixed up. Oh, they fixed this up too? I figured they might have only fixed, like, the beginning stuff. Like, the super, super early shit. Alright, so Ravenholm again. Water is a little weird. So even though it's fixed up, the water is still kind of strange. It looks better. I can't really quite put my finger on why it looks better. As long as they don't look at that tree for too long. This one in particular. Like, as long as they're not showing the audience that this tree looks like poop, then we good. The lighting? Yep. Yeah, the lighting is... Yes. It is that. You were only meant to stay on the docks after this part. If the map load is there, you need to fall into the water at the start of the map to progress. Okay, so then they took this bit from the 2002 build, and then they just chopped it up. So there should be, like, some kind of trigger over here. It just depends on... I don't know where it is. Oh, there it is. Found it. The original leak was 50% purple and black and most scripted segments bugged out. This version is highly fixed.
You're staring at me again.
Warming up nicely.
Are you sure you don't want me to swap out the polarizer?
That's not necessary. Just checking for potential modular interference in the interstices. Conditions could hardly be...
I thought Kleiner's head came off.
Huh, I hope so. I'm sorry, Gordon. I can't help thinking that this isn't going to work. That we should have listened to my father and done it his way. It's just, this is the first time I've had any hope of really striking back at the Combine. And now we're sitting ducks unless we can get this thing running. Come on, Dr. Kleiner, is it gonna work or not?
Zoom face.
No, there's nothing to be nervous about. Let's see. The massless field flux should self-limit, and I've clamped the manifold parameters to CY base, an LG orbifold, a Hilbert inclusive.
Yeah, that zoom was actually... the first zoom was scripted. So I'm assuming there's another scripted sequence here that takes you to the next map. Don't know where it is.
Oh, do be careful.
Maybe we should just cut our losses and... listen.
Oh, it's zooming in again without my consent.
Scan this.
Please.
We gotta get moving. Take this. Let's get out of here.
This should only take...
Too late. Run!
Oh, fine.
Oh, Fi. Oh no, this is the famous... I think this is the famous Ravenholm demo. Nice yellow arms you got there. It looks like he's wearing tracksuit underneath the uniform. This music gets claimed. Oh, that's fun. Just leave it down there for now. I wonder if Latin Auteur owns it. They seem to own everything else. Not sure where to go. It's not that way. It kind of blows my mind that Half-Life 2 is not on the Switch. It's almost like Valve just doesn't want to put that game out anymore because they want people to forget about it. Why would it be? No, I know. What I mean by that is like, you would think it would be like kind of an easy drag and drop, an iconic game, when so many other people are just porting stuff over. Capcom, Square. I don't know, it's not like it needs to be on there, it's just a thing that feels obvious, I guess. Orange box would be good. You're supposed to climb the stairs in that main building. Oh. Well, something glitched over there. Restart, I guess? The entrance was blocked by a washing machine, probably scripted. I mean, it's been years since I even watched... And I've watched the demos, like, for nostalgia purposes, I think once or twice, but I couldn't tell you specifically what happens. Chat seems to know, or they're watching the video alongside this. Well, screwed that up. This gun actually pushes you back in this version. There's recoil. There's heavy recoil. Original Combine voice. Oh, right. That was the thing that you were supposed to do too, yeah. And then there was this. This was another thing that blew my mind. Come on, let's do it. Turn it on. Yeah! Turn it on. Go faster! Good enough. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff here that's scripted that I'm not getting. You should just, if you want to see comparisons, you could probably just, like, grab that on YouTube. Half-Life 2 E3 2003 demo. And see exactly what they did to sell the concept to the people. Automatic for the people. Oh, that's definitely not where I'm supposed to go. Mono just linked it in chat if anyone's interested. Yeah, this is cool though. It is cool to play this. Considering I watched this a bunch in 2003, I remember really, really wanting this game, and then when I got it, it was great. I upgraded my computer specifically for it. Ha! I remember it was, like, really exciting when the first Half-Life 2 mod came out. I think it was called Dystopia. But there were a number of really early ones that seemed a lot cooler than they were, just because they were the firsts. And I felt like, man, if Half-Life 1 mods are this good, I can't wait for Half-Life 2 mods. Okay, so even now, in the 2003 E3 demo, this gun still shoots fire. Not entirely sure if that is supposed to activate a new scene. But there it is. Go back, exit to the right. This is an interesting, like, meta game in and of itself, trying to find the spots where you need to go to. And if only I was a Valve employee circa 2003, I would have this no problem. I'm stuck. Dominic, you rat. Oh, here's a place to go to. Hello, scripted Combine.
There you are. I wondered what was keeping you. Hope you didn't have any trouble finding me.
Yeah, I couldn't find the spot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, right, this thing. I remember that. Aquamentus. Or as I like to call him, Aquamental.
You lead the way.
Remember when we thought Black Mesa was as bad as it could get?
How could I die?
Lead the way.
Remember when we thought Black Mesa was as bad as it could get?
But what happened to that thing? What happened to the water thing? That was basically Morpha from Ocarina of Time. Which I don't even know how that fits in with the Half-Life 2 universe. Just completely cut. Yeah. I'd like to think it would have made it into episode 3. Okay, listen, when you're doing the demo, Do not look left. Why? Oh, shit. The AI wasn't that good, and it wasn't fun to fight. And you know, as Reggie said, zippity zoppity. If it's not fun, then go fuck yourself. Alright. I would like to speed this along a little bit. I think this is more or less... I don't know how many more maps there are of this demo, but... This early Nova Prospect. The right click is not working, so this must also be heavily scripted. Come on, do the squeeze! Oh, now they're getting... Oh, they're now. Alright, that said, as cool as this is, really quickly, so that was most of the E3 2003 demo, which some of that I remember, some I don't. Really interesting to finally play through it after all these years, but I would like to check out this leak. Again, this was big news, and I remember people shitting on it and being like, the game sucks, bro! So what can you do? Nary, where's the map list for this one? How old were you in 2003? I was... Oh god. This was the original intro? Oh. The leaked version was sold in stores. Yeah, didn't they...
I don't know where you came from, but you can't get away. It's
just like the last one.
I can't be seen talking.
I thought this was supposed to be an improvement.
What the fuck? Imagine buying this. How old was I? I was 18 in 2003. Looks like a mod of Half-Life 2. It just, yeah, it looks...
I mean, I've been here before.
It's very, very obviously placeholder.
I wonder why Dr. Breen picked this dump.
But it is a very, very good thing that they went and redid all this. Vinny, thanks for making me feel young. You're welcome. You'll be here soon, eventually.
I'm from Waukegan originally.
What? Why do you have two voices?
Get away from me.
The voice of the citizens was done by Mark Laidlaw. Eight by 44 knob. Again, this is fixed up so that it's more complete and playable, right?
You heard
but
it, buddy.
Still, imagine buying this because someone like hacked and got a leak.
There's been some kind of mistake. What are you looking at?
Oh god. Oh fuck. Okay, so here are the maps. Yeah, this is rough. I've never actually seen footage of this leak, so this is way more rough than I expected. Oof. Yeah, and this is fixed up, exactly. Well, I mean, that's what you get for, you know, getting an early version of a game. Oof. Oh, boy. This early? Now you can buy early access games just like this. Yes, chat member. Well, you would hope it would be a little bit more developed than having unfinished textures. Usually early access tries to just give you a little piece of the game. I mean, you know, usually a lot of early access can be broken, but yeah, you would hope you don't get like beta just unfinished, well, not unfinished, but unplayable. What I mean by that is Noita, for example, is early access, and that game is like, you could have sold that game as a full game, and it would have been great. So if you're a good developer, early access means that you have an almost complete game that you want to make more complete, as opposed to, you know what I'm talking about.
Freeman.
Huh. What was that noise? What noise? Was it a meat noise? Someone said I made a meat noise. Oh, I was drinking water, chat.
Freeman.
I was just like glugging some water. Nice, dude! I can imagine... I can really just imagine buying this game. I said it before, but... what a fucking horrendous nightmare this must have been for Valve. Well, this eventually looked better. But... here's all this. I don't even know what just happened. Well, honestly, this vehicle did not get that much better. I can't even leave the vehicle. Okay, so, whoa, okay, okay. And I'm dizzy. And I am dizzy. Good. How about we just no-clip a little bit? Yeah, we're gonna no-clip. And then check out this house. Yeah, a lot of this was still in the final version, just cleaned up, polished. Looks way better than this. Also, I think they increased the fog in this area so that you couldn't tell when that stuff was happening. I always remembered this area. I was like, why is this foggy and the rest of the game isn't? Valve offered the leaker a job as a ruse to call the FBI. if he flew to America. I remember that, but I don't remember, did he accept the ruse and get arrested? He was arrested, so he did not... What? The German police arrested him. He got arrested anyway. He accepted, but the German police got him first. Massive. Why is this... This body looks like... Jello. It's too shiny. Dear Lord. I mean, it got better. The physics got a little bit better, but you can still do some crazy shit. Maybe not this crazy. Like, for example, the gravity gun will eventually let go of the thing. I can... As long as I got some gravity, I still got it. Why do I still have this? Okay. I love it. Oh man. Oh, this must be a very fun build to fuck around in with the physics. Okay. I could probably get to space using this body. If I just find the right combination of objects. Like this boat, for example. Let's see. Nope. Antlions, I'm busy. Going to space. Let me go to space. My intention was to check out maps and see what various builds of Half-Life 2 looked like, but now I'm just playing with a gelatinous corpse. Hang on a minute, hang on a minute, we can do this. I almost had it. Trying to do some crouch jumping. Never mind. Well, I tried. If you crouch jump on top of the body while grabbing it, it should launch you. Oh, I can't actually... The body itself is not interacting with Gordon. Like, you need a buffer. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Alright, next. Let's take a look at a couple other maps while I'm here, because this is still very interesting. The fuck is this place? Vinny, you're not going to have time for your other games. Well, here's the secret. The grab bag garbage at the end is a backup strat, just in case I needed something else. The Boss of Games collection, I'll definitely be able to get to that, because that's something I think I could probably knock out in about 50 minutes or so. So I'm only going to do this another, like, 10 minutes. But this is really interesting for me, so I don't want to stop doing this right this second. But the grab bag garbage, or gamble, or whatever we're calling it, is also really good. And if I don't get to it today, which I won't, then next week. Vinny, would it hurt to stream an extra hour once in a while? It would hurt, because that would go into about 5 a.m. for me. And, you know, I'd like to have a life. You know. Now, if you want me to stream earlier, no. Baby, can't do it. Too much streaming, too much trash. I'll give you 4 hours. Okay, so here's leaked 2003 Ravenholm. And I'm going to assume that this is a more complete Ravenholm than the demo from E3. Of course it is. Zombies look a little different. But otherwise, yeah, this looks pretty damn close. So I gotta imagine, like, even though some of this was a disappointment, especially that initial train station, there's still some good stuff in here to check out. You're still getting a version of Half-Life 2 that is almost... Oh my god. Did you see his arms go mental?
My once beloved Samsa. Let me remember his former face and obliterate my memory of what has.
Did he say Sansa? Oh, he's dead now. Alright, see ya. Oh my god. Oh, the beep is still happening. I'm sorry, chat. I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh, that's horrible. I don't know. The lighting looks pretty good here, but I still feel like... I can't put my finger on it, but something ended up... Was it better lighting by the time the game was finished? Was it, like, other post-processing stuff? It's stuck over there. It was a lot darker, more color depth. So it was color depth, it was, maybe bump mapping as well. Some more detail probably scattered about. Also, if you watch my M-Mod stream, keep in mind that that looks better than Half-Life 2 does. Because the lighting was improved, and there were a couple other little things there too, so... You know, I'm comparing this to my most recent playthrough of Half-Life 2, which looked even better than it was supposed to. But yeah, this is still, again, at the end of the day, this is still more or less Ravenholm. And it looks pretty okay. Maps. We'll check out a couple more. I want to try Zoo Extras. Oh, Lord. Here's that 20% room again. Who the fuck are these kids? Oh, this is creepy. John Connor. Chat. What is happening? What is going on with her eye? That's a slow-ass sniper rifle. What is going on? Those models are of child workers. I had no idea there were child workers in this game at any point. Probably a wise decision to cut. Just based on the fact that, I'm doing this. And people would have lost their ever-loving shit in 2003, 2004. Okay, map. Zoo portal. Why is it typing backwards, chat? What the fuck was that? Map. Zoo. Portal. Fallout 1 and 2 let you kill children. Which games... Well, Skyrim, you can't kill children, right? GTA, there's no kids in there. Like, I know it's a little taboo in some games to the point where they won't let you kill the child. Well, aside from mods, you know. Very, very blue. Okay, this is a weird one. Let's try a couple others real quick. I want to see the train station again. Okay, so this is the part where you're running on the roofs. And this looks a lot better than the train station did. This looks a little bit more complete. Of course, when you have details like the music, those birds that fly around and things shooting at you, it becomes a lot more interesting. But yeah, this is... it's a lot better. If it weren't for my horse... There's the birds. Who the fuck is driving this? What? Also, thank God they found a way to fix this up and make it feel like a real place and much more alive, because this is... that's just a shame is what that is. I can see where the textures would have been missing. Let's see, maps. One more. Here we go. Final one. Do we have any Citadel here? No. What I'm trying to say when I know it was obviously an early leaked build, but I get why people might have been a little worried. So the extra quality that they put into this game before release was a ton. They put a lot of work into it, and it's very clear. It shows. Well, I guess we could just check out the prison. Probably my least favorite environment of Half-Life 2 is the prison stuff, but it's still... gameplay-wise, it can be kind of fun. Oh, it's this area. This is where you fight off that horde. And you have to, like, move your turrets around. If you remember my stream, I brought, like, 1,000 turrets with me. There's a character in the movie Demolition Man that looks exactly like Eli Vance, and I'm wondering if his face was based off of him. So, Eli's face was based off of a homeless dude. All right. Well, anyway, that was Half-Life 2. Yeah, that was a very close... Someone in chat said these are kind of boring because they're so close to the final game. Well, yeah, I mean, I took you back to the past to show you the shitty builds that suck ass, and then I showed you some other stuff. However, for a future stream of this, if I do more, there's also Air Exchange mod, City 17 mod, I don't know what that means, fan-made fixes, fan-made maps, Half-Life Source Beta, there's 2002 build, 2003 build, and then there's the Thing mod. What is the Thing mod? I don't know who made this. I don't know where it came from. It's an earlier build than the one you just saw. So, here it is. I don't know if it's supposed to be on, like, based on John Carpenter's The Thing. The Thing is the first ever mod for Half-Life 2. Okay. This mod was made with the leaked developer tools. It's technically one of the first Half-Life 2 mods. Interesting, okay. Very interesting. Well, it's pretty damn close to vanilla Half-Life 2, except you're just getting, like, destroyed and fucked by antlions. Alright, well that was, again, Half-Life 2 beta and its various forms. When 2002 and 2003 are fixed up and the maps are available, and like I said, if there's anything I missed that you find particularly interesting in your travels, please let me know, because I would like to do a version that's a little bit more focused. Regardless, I think we hit most of the major stuff, and I hope that was educational for you, as it was for me.